You're all wrong. This show is now definitively the third best piece of DMC media. Of course, nothing surpasses these two, but if the third season continues this momentum and sticks the landing, it very well could surpass the original story. I just finished watching the entire second season, blah blah blah. Something that bothers me about this series is Adi Shankar's lack of respect for the original material. The series feels like fan fiction written by an edgy teenager from the 2000s. In the absolute best way possible, yes, this show feels like a fan fiction created by someone that loved the games back in the day and just wanted more from them. You know what I mean? Let's be real here. The first two games are like, oh, I was going to say good, but like they're not really. Like objectively, those games are aged not great, but whatever. Point I'm trying to make is Dante feels radically different in 1 and 2 compared to 3. In fact, Dante feels different game to game, really. There's the most consistency between 3, 4, and 5 due to the same voice actor being cast, but it's nice to have a show put Dante's excellent character nuance front and center. Is it slightly overstated? Do I think this particular Dante would express such vulnerability in this way like the show version does? Probably not. Is that a bad thing? No. It's a new interpretation. Why am I going to be mad when it changes a character somewhat? It's not like he's changed Dante for the worse here. I think Shankar has the utmost respect for the source material in such a way that he saw where it was lacking and filled in those blanks himself. The first 3 games lack consistency. The 4th and 5th game take the main lens off of Dante, sidelining him. He never really gets a chance to flourish in terms of full-blown character development in the games. Those glimpses we do get are masterfully done, so much so that people seem to think that they, compensate for the lack of fulfillment we've really had on Dante's development. Take the endings of 3 and 4, for example, both just excellent showings of Dante's sensitivity to contrast with the usual bombastic, over-the-top bullshit. As I'd predicted, we do get to peek further into the maternal aspect of both Dante and Virgil's characters. It's more fleshed out here than in the games, somewhat. Obviously, because the game stories need to make room for a game, they don't have as much time to visually showcase the storyline as a show does. I get that. Still, being shown Dante and Virgil as children, showing Virgil's inherent inferiority, feeding into his later lust for power more. His motivation, is basically the same here as it is in the games. Just in the games, it doesn't quite spell it out as, in your face as it does here. But again, we get to spend so much more time with Virgil here. Why not showcase more of that vulnerability? Show that human side that we do know is there anyway. I love that we just get to see more Virgil in general. Genuinely, we just don't see enough of him in the games. He's such an iconic character. Him and Dante are such an iconic duo. The fact that we really don't actually get that much official screen time with him through the original story, that kind of fucking sucks. He's in a few cutscenes in 3, and even lesser few cutscenes in 5. And I guess he's in 1, but come on, it's not really Virgil. He's basically the second main character in this second season here. Again, Dante was kind of sidelined. I get that. I get people's frustration there. But to me, it's not really a huge problem. I didn't really have any issue with any of the power scaling this season. Anytime he was overwhelmed, it was either by an equally powerful demon, a group of demons, or his own twin, so whatever, right? I would like to see him showcase some of that lore-accurate Dante power eventually, but, hopefully we get there at some point. Depends how many seasons this show is able to run for. Guy's just lurking behind my car. Guy's just lurking behind my car, man, making me nervous. He literally put bodies in Virgil's fight against the Darkcom guys. It looked like an AMV. Is that really a bad thing? Like, are we mad about like an official AMV? That's awesome. I wish more shows would do that, frankly. Like, Invincible just randomly threw Rain and Blood into that one episode, and I flipped my fucking lid. I thought it was fucking class. So every time a song came on in this show and I knew and liked it pretty much every time, what's not to love? I don't see the issue at all. Like, you take a scene that's already cool and then you just throw some cool music on top of it. It just enhances the... whatever. You can't please everyone. The final duel, Virgil versus Dante, with the remixed See You in Hell. Man, I'm so passionate about this franchise that to see a very talented team of artists have took it and reworked it into something new while still making it feel like the game franchise that I fell in love with. Like, oh man. They did the thing with the pool cue, Yamato jab, then Dante like spearing it back towards him. Woo! It show's fucking good. Dante and Virgil's dynamic is preserved one-to-one from the games. It's everything that I wanted. Lady and Dante, I just don't care. No, like, I care. I wanted this to happen. I'm not mad about this. That's what I mean. Let's not act like there wasn't tension between them in 3 anyway. To me, this is where that fanfiction jab kind of strikes true. To me, this feels kind of like a fuck it, just in case we don't get a 3rd season greenlit moment. I'm all for it. Like, DMC 1 is probably my least favorite Devil May Cry game. Can't believe I'm saying that out loud. And I've never really been a huge fan of Trish. I always thought DMC's one story is like good in concept, but playing through the game itself is boring, and retroactively knowing Virgil ends DMC 3 like this, charging towards Mundus only to get packed up and put on strings for like 9 years. Lame. This version of Nilo Angelo and this version of Mundus are so much better than their game counterparts. It's not even like, it's not apples to oranges. I don't even really feel like I have to explain myself here. In the main lore, in the main games, Mundus is not a very fleshed out character. Nilo Angelo is not a very fleshed out concept in the games themselves. Am I mad that Shankar has reworked it into something better? Of course not, because I'm not a fucking spoiled child. I appreciate the effort that's went into this, the artistry behind it. The history of Mundus and Sparda actually being like his right-hand man, basically, only turning eventually. That's not necessarily better or worse than the Sparda we know from the games. It's just different, and different doesn't necessarily mean worse. But I can appreciate the change made here. It's a brave change. Do you remember people complaining about V when 5 first came out? Do you remember people complaining about Devil Trigger when Devil May Cry 5 was first announced? Didn't fit the stuff. That was a thing. I'm not misremembering that. I know for a fact people were hating on that song at first. I know people were hating on Subhuman at first, and that song's a fucking banger. You guys just can't be fucking happy with anything, man. This show is a wonderful, just back-to-back highlight reel of everything that you should love about this franchise, and people are just so unsatisfied with it. It baffles me. It really does. Fleshing out the history of Makai, actually giving like a rich cultural base for the demon realm in universe, that does so much more for world building than the games ever did. That's something that the games are very much lacking, in my opinion. The games have these amazing set pieces, excellent music, gameplay, fantastic character designs, memorable dialogue, and especially memorable just moments in general, but you just can't really envision the world of Devil May Cry. Is that just me? There's not a great deal of consistency to it. It bounces between fantastical and the grungy, like, urban stuff a little too much to really find like a consistent, like, this is the world of Devil May Cry. I think Devil May Cry could have fixed that, but you spend so much time in the Clifod that you're kind of robbed of a feeling of this like surrounding universe that the game's meant to take place in. At least the show is consistent in that grounded city setting. It leaves the fantastical stuff to that the demon realm Makai. To reiterate, Not an issue at all. I love the games. There really isn't much I'd change about the games, to be honest. The show just has a much more accessible and digestible narrative compared to them. Meaning it's been, I hate to say, simplified. That's not really the right word, but the story and nuance of Devil May Cry and all its main characters are like front and center. In Netflix fashion, there's no chance you could possibly miss the point of this show, you know what I mean? Because they really spell things out. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it borders into like Stranger Things 5 territory, but TLDL, the games have a much more subtle, clever way of putting forth the characters' nuances and developments and such. That doesn't necessarily make it better. All in all, do I have a problem with the show being a pretty blatant allegory for some of the world's political problems right now? No. Why on earth would I care that a good show is bringing attention to some humanitarian issues that mankind is currently facing? Is it needed? No. Is it a bad thing? No. Moving on. This is redemption for the original Devil May Cry 2. Arius is actually fucking badass in this one. Like, God, I fucking love this show, man. I'm so passionate about this franchise, and I'm so passionate about these characters, but I can't help thinking Dante always got sold short in the games. As I was saying earlier, and I'm going to repeat myself because I don't care, I'm going off on a tangent, he's never given the chance to fully evolve in terms of any characterization. He's finally been, figuratively, given a voice here for that. We still get the over-the-top bullshit, the silliness, but just more tenderness, more sentiment, more of the somber moments that I yearned for in the games. In the official canon series, Dante is written by 7 writers in the first 3 games alone, which probably is the reason why it feels so different from game to game, as well as the voice changes. Bingo Morihashi would continue to write Dante through 3, 4, and 5, thus why we get more consistency there, as well as Hideaki Itsuno's direction. But if we're talking the whole series, games, anime, and manga, yet another writer and director created the manga. Again, why Dante feels differently here compared to, say, 3 or 4. There have been 4 different writers for the various novels released also. And we want to talk about mischaracterizing. Are we living on the same planet? Mischaracterizing Dante. Dante doesn't have a consistent characterization. You can drop my fucking LARP award in the comments, but you guys are fucking LARPing because you think because you've read the fucking Devil May Cry 3 manga, you think you're fucking better than someone who just has like the common sense to think if a character's been written by X amount of writers over this amount of interpretations, characterization is up in the air anyway. I'm not saying he's just like a nothing character. He's not just, wacky woohoo pizza boy, blah, fucking Reddit, chungus, whatever, shut the fuck up. But the only consistency we ever got with this character, and this is the fucking truth, is in the main games from 3 to 5. And let's not act as if 4 and 5 didn't leave a lot to be desired in terms of the narrative in regards to Dante's character, especially 4. I love these games. I adore these games, but they're not perfect. Except for 3. I could go on and tear down these 2, pick at all their flaws, but what good would that do? Would it change your mind about the show? No. Point I'm trying to make here is that this is yet again just another interpretation of the character. And at least it's a separate continuity, so it justifies changes made. While it may not nail every single tiny nuance Dante ever had across all forms of media he's ever fucking starred in, it definitely nails the essence of the character. It hits the fucking nail right on the head of why we love Dante. The same goes for Virgil too, man. Everything I love about Dante and everything we love about Virgil is retained in this show. Like, absolutely. undeniably. To me, there is zero mischaracterization, just people misinterpreting or being overly sensitive to some of the more extreme lengths these characters go to / are pushed to. I can't even be bothered to entertain some of these fucking comments that I see, man, like, lady randomly falling in love. Yet again, this is somewhere the games fell short. Let's not fucking kid ourselves here. They clearly had something going on in 3. Then they just fucking... They didn't even sideline her in 4. They fucking forgot about her entirely. Brought her back for fucking DLC. And then just had the decency to kind of sideline her in 5. This show just reshuffles some of the parts of the original story while maintaining what actually did need to stay the same. Can you be disappointed because Shankar said he was going to keep stuff the same? Yeah, sure. But am I annoyed that I ended up watching the show and it actually turned out better than the original story in some ways? Fuck no, man. I'd be remiss somewhat and feel dishonest if I didn't tell you the things that are objectively bad about the show. Virgil's Devil Trigger being so similar to Dante's just doesn't really sit right with me. They're not exactly like just a palette swap, but they're not far off. So I can understand people's criticism on that. Mundus giving Virgil the Yamato also doesn't really make sense. Or it doesn't really make sense in the context of the original story. Given the new version of Sparta we have, it's fine. It's no biggie, really. The one thing that's objectively wrong, no devil arms. Why? Integrating it this deep into the story just wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, they could make up some bullshit like, oh, Dante has only just now figured out how to harness the demonic blah-de-blah from other entities. I'll take whatever dumbass explanation you can give, because devil arms and, like, the inheritance of Doppelganger and Quicksilver, they were never really spelled out to us in the games either. The games never explained how they worked, so the show doesn't really need to either. But yeah, it's a shame that we haven't seen Dante wield anything other than the rebellion. Meh. Again, the devil arms aren't what make me love the games in their entirety, but this actually is a big part of the game's identity that I think should have been carried over. There's still time to amend this, so please do. Come on, man. There's clearly so much love put into this. The animation, the choreography of the fight scenes, the fucking music, the references, the dumbass Easter eggs. There is nothing that will convince me that this show wasn't made with the best of intentions. Other than, like, literally this. Just how, as a Devil May Cry fan, can you watch this show and not feel immense positive emotion come over you? The fandom was left to rot for 11 years. DMC5 came back and kinda wrote things into a corner. Not fully, but we did not get enough real Dante before he was sidelined for Nero. As we established, 3 was the first game where Dante actually becomes the Dante that we know. So we get one game where Dante is the main character, and you're pissed about him being sidelined in the show, but not the games? This show's fucking great. Like, I'm hyped for season 3. Make a million fucking seasons of this. I'll watch them all. Stay tuned.